Good morning. You did that at the right time. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's Monday. It's 6 p.m. in the UK. It's time for Evening Brews. Hello, everybody. I hope you've all had a great day. Evening Brews is back, obviously, Monday to Friday. And today I'm joined by my regular co-anchor on a Monday. And I said co-anchor before anyone else, co-anchor. And the partner...
Glad you slowed that bit down at the end.
And the partner behind Anger Management, I'm with Jonny. How you doing, Jonny?
I'm okay. I nearly had a disaster last night. My house nearly burnt down. Had a pump that caught fire. Went down there, opened the door, and all the smoke came billowing out. But the fire brigade came very quick, and but it was a scary moment. Got very hot, and it's bloody hot out there today. If you're wondering where I'm wearing glasses, I'm not doing a Stevie Wonder impression. It's the sun's glaring straight into my eyes. Okay, but already nothing's going to stop Evening Brews, even a little fire.
There we go. See, that's dedication and commitment. Right, let's just do the hellos to everyone that is in the building, and then we'll get into it. So, Rich Coverman channel member, good evening. Although you're going to miss it, you'll probably watch it back. Hello to you, buddy. Psycho Files, big up to you. I loved it. I've seen this for a while. ChieYay for me, a bit of tone in, and as here, top class. A bit of Rams Arrive, Emerson Royal, Bryan off Hill, and all we need is Lascelles away, Forster bye-bye, Benta cheerio, and I'll be happy. Okie dokie, but I love that comment. Channel member Tony Rodriguez is in the house. Good evening, Mr.
Tony.
Andy Lloyd, another channel member, is in the house. Good evening to you. The Bertie Hotspur, as always, big up to you. Andrew Gregory, Tweaky is in the building. Sky Eyes UK, big up to you, sir. George is in the house. Matty is in the house. One trophy, 24 years. Love the name. Big up to you. Rob78, big up to you. Sean Slater, channel member, big up. Mark Cousins, I believe, is a channel member, but as he's a mod as well, has had that taken away. Paul Clark, good evening to you. Lee Harvey, big up. Stuart, big up, channel member as well. Jason Bell, good evening to you. Who else have we got? Rinketic is here. Ronnie is here. I've done that the wrong way round, but even so. Darren Johnson is here. Darren Kilban. And finally, Mark Cook is in the house. Right. There is a lot to go through tonight. A lot. Oh, and Rinketic has just become a member as well. Rinketic, thank you much for becoming a channel member and a user. Another channel member has joined the chat. So good evening to you. Lots to get through. The first two stories, we're going to try and breeze by it because there has been some breaking news and developments on a certain story that we were going to do. So we're going to start. I'm going to show all three tweets before we talk about this. And it's obviously the Emerson story that has been getting closer, getting closer, getting closer. And now it's so close, we're dealing in steps. It's only one step away. So yesterday, Milan accelerated their offer for Emerson. Milan are prepared to offer an offer that reaches the 15 million pounds and bonuses as per Tottenham's request. Today, talks were important to bring the parties closer and closer. Now there is a confidence and optimism of the deal. Then Milan have increased their offer for the player in recent hours. The agreement with Tottenham is now very close. Milan will look to close a deal in the upcoming week. And then finally, Fabrizio. Emerson Royal expected to join AC Milan from Tottenham this week. As reported earlier, there's one more round of talks set to take place on Monday with AC Milan confident to get the final green light. Steps closer, accelerating, green lights, I love it all. And the last bit about after Pavlovic, Emerson could be the next one to join Milan. So they're getting in players quickly. But this is finally, as the title says, it's Emma going. And who knows, today it could be Emma gone, Jonny.
Well, it's basically a story of Emerson and on and on and on. Right?
There you go, big up, Tom.
Yeah, it's a long running saga. But look, I'm not going to blame Spurs for this one. I'm sorry. They're offering us 10 million euros on your bike, right? You're AC Milan. Don't make out you haven't got the cash, okay? All right, make us a reasonable offer. 15 million plus add-ons and bonuses is reasonable, and we're happy to take it. But don't be coming here with your 10 million euros. So I don't blame Spurs. Just the same as all those fans that were up in arms. Why didn't we accept 6 million euros after agreeing £8 million with Genoa for Jed Spence? Imagine the reaction then with Jed Spence playing as well as he does. So take the money. Thank you very much. Off you go. Pay your money. Takes choice, and off you go. Thank you. And hopefully, we'll be using the money.
Well, the money has been building. The money has been. We're going to talk transfers in shortly, and I will say, obviously, one thing I forgot to say at the beginning. Thank you to everyone, and I do mean everyone that sent me messages, whether it's social media or to me privately about me hitting 16 years of sobriety. Had a wonderful day with my wife, who had a couple of surprises for me, including, and I'm hoping my nephews are watching this because it will go back to people I don't want to do, a new tattoo. Let's see how long it gets back. And my mum's on the phone now going, have you done it again? We'll see, but thank you. But getting back to Emerson, listen, after the Hearts game where he came on and made that mistake, I was like, take the 10 million. Take it, off you go, bye-bye, get it off, because we know he's got. And then when I saw him playing, this is the weird thing. When I saw him playing against the team we played on Saturday, I literally thought, here we go. He's playing because the interest probably isn't high, because I couldn't see us risking a player injury when a deal was that close. But it does look like it is finally done. It does look like he is finally going. You're happy with 15 mil?
Listen, I think 15. Look, I think in the scheme of things, 15 million plus bonuses is acceptable. I just think, look, whether you want him to go or not, you can't be accepting 10 million. You can't have your cake and eat it, complaining about the fees. And then, the thing is, if we went to Milan and we were buying Emerson Royal, it'd be 30 million. Or 25 million. Yep. So, come on, play the game. We're just having a bit of a fire sale at the moment. It's great. We've got rid of all these players, Brian. There's only one problem. When you get rid of them all, you've got to buy a few. And there seems to be a gaping hole because, we've had a mass clearance since last summer. I don't know how many players we've got rid of since last summer. Someone can total them up. But it's starting to get a little bit worrying now that we're looking a bit threadbare.
Yeah, it is. Do you know what? Whilst we're here, let's just move on to the next story, which I'll go again with the two parts, and then obviously we'll get on to, we'll deal with this and get onto the bigger stories. So, Bryan Gil has joined La Liga side Girona on loan for the 24-25 season. Good luck, Brian. How they didn't say bye-bye, Bry, I don't know. But hey-ho. This is the bit. When I put it on Twitter, when this deal broke, I went on Twitter and I asked a genuine question because I didn't understand the logic behind everything that was going on. And it wasn't me taking the piss out of the club or what's it called, gone fishing. I generally didn't understand why we're giving him a new contract. And obviously people said, because he'll go to Spain, do well, and we'll get 15 million for him. I don't think we'll get 15 million for him in any walks of life, even if he has a good season, because he's had good seasons at Valencia and when he went back to Seville and no one wanted him. But that's besides the point. The bit I could not get, Jonny, was the fact that in this deal when they were reporting that there was no obligation to sell at that price or option to buy at that price locked in the deal. Then I would have sat back and go, do you know what? Fair play. There's some security. There's some insurance behind it. but there wasn't. And now Alistair Gold has confirmed it. Looks like a straight loan for Bryan Gil to Girona. No suggestion of options, obligations, or any contract extension. So before I get you to respond to this, I've seen a couple, and one of them's Matty. If you want your questions to be answered at the end, please put Q in the dash or Q at TOT dash, or if you're in any position and you want us to drop what we're talking about immediately, please put it, or you can put it as a super chat and we'll bring it up immediately, but there's absolutely no obligation whatsoever to do so. Jonny, Bryan Gil.
Oh, my Girona. I didn't think we'd ever get rid of the fifth Beatle, to be honest. I didn't think, once we signed him, there seems to be a lot of contradictory reporting going on, because Fabrizio said signing a new deal, extension, 15 million deal, no loan. Loan, no fee for the loan, paying the wages for the year, no loan fee. And at the end of that year, they've got an option to buy for 15 million if he wants to go, or any other club can come in and pay 15 million for him. I'm not quite sure how that works. It seems like a very weird deal to me. Because what happens if he goes to Girona and he has a great year? Surely that would create interest and then his price goes up. I think we need to get a definitive detail on that contract, because I've seen 3 different readings into that. I tend to trust Fabrizio Romano over Alistair Gold, who's got quite a few things wrong recently. Yep. So let's see how it plays out. But look, got nothing against Bryan Gil. As I said previously, I thought it was the moustache that might be interfering with his game. He went into hospital, he had it removed, but no, it didn't improve his game. I think there's nothing wrong with him as a player, but he's just no good for the Premier League. So let him go to Spain, let him smash it, let's get some money, and let's go again.
Yeah, I mean, the funny things were that apparently he said, like, it's Girona or I stay. And we've been held to ransom by Bryan Gil, of all things. But Sky Eyes raises a good point. He says, Bryan, there may not be an obligation, but Gil to buy Gil, but surely it's better to put him in the shop window with potential to sell him down the line. Yeah, listen, I agree with this. But the thing I find, and I'm disappointed that there's no obligation. He's had his loan spells. One to the team that apparently didn't want to pay £6 million for him, or euros, in Sevilla last week. Now, that could have all been speculation and nonsense. But we're going to have to wait and see. Could he? Listen, we all know he can do it in La Liga. It's what attracted, or what brought him to the club. He's gone away and done it in La Liga. I just hope, and I keep saying to people, they're like, oh, it makes good business sense, because I get that he could have walked for free on his contract, but I think we've done well in doing this. We could have extended Tanganga's and Sessegnon's. We had the year extensions, but we're like, no, Kana lost his bang by. I thought this was going to happen with Gil, but we extended it. And the bit that gets me is if he doesn't impress and we don't get a bid for him, then we're in exactly the same situation we are right now. And we see it could be...
I think we got an option, though, Bryan. I think we got an option for another year. But the thing is, I think it's a smart move by Gil, in all honesty, because Girona are definitely going places. They're backed by Man City as owners.
Yep.
So they know that there's money there, unlike other clubs in La Liga, apart from the big two. So I think all in all, it's a smart move. I mean, if he's going to impress in one club in Spain, that's the one to be doing it at. And, they bought some interesting players, Girona, and who have performed. So I think it's a good move for Spurs. I think it's a good move for him and a good move for Girona. And let's hope that, he shines out there. It can only be good for us if he does.
Yep, right. We're going to move on to the next subject, which I titled ChieYay or ChiesNO.
ChiesNO.
And this was at the point that this was the situation. Apparently, we were linked with him heavily over the week, and then at the weekend, no, we're not. And this was yesterday, I believe, or maybe even been this morning, sorry. from Alistair Gold himself, Federico Chiesa is believed, or is not believed, to be one of Tottenham's original targets. People around Spurs were nonplussed by the reports.
Correct.
Then literally 10, 15 minutes before we went live, Pleat Goal has turned around and said Tottenham Hotspur with a concrete interest in Federico Chiesa this window. First talks with his agent, Fali Ramadani, have started, but no concrete. So wait, there's concrete interest, but not concrete. Oh, here we go. We're going to go with the concrete and the builder's materials now for these links.
We're pouring the foundations of a deal.
We're building the scaffolding for the deal is going up. Right, so Federico Chiesa. Someone has said smoke screen already, and I can't remember who it was. I think there it is, ball bean counter. I love this name. Ball bean counter. I don't know if it's a smoke screen. I look at it and say, do you know what? Is he past his best? We don't know. He's been injured, and he hasn't got back to where he was. Is he way below his market value that should be if he was on fire? And does he have an injury record? That seems to be the checklist for Spurs targets. I reckon there is some smoke. Sorry, Johnny, I don't mean to use fire as a pun here.
Yeah.
But I reckon there is a small fire brewing in it. But I'm.
How many more fire allergies?
How can I put it? How can I put it before I go to? I'm kind of happy that there's some excitement that some story has been building up. But if this one falls flat on its face, the fallout from this, because I think Chiesa is coming to the Premier League. He's apparently said the Premier League is where he wants to be. What do you reckon with this, Johnny? Because I know you've got you got your feelings on this one.
Yeah, no, listen, I posted something about it before. Look, I think he's perfect for Spurs. You know, we're looking for some more players that can sit in the treatment room so that we can make good value of our vets and our medical team. No, listen, joking aside, before his injuries,
yeah.
He was very good. He's still only 26. 1 year left on his contract. I mean, it all ticks all the boxes. Used to be good. It smells of Fabio. Yeah, Don Fabio is all over this. Juventus, value for money, buys the player. In Don Fabio, we trust. If he's going to be bringing him here, there's a reason.
I'm using that. C to the fourth. I am using that. That brilliant. God, sorry, Johnny.
I was just going to say, if you're looking at Neto's Prem proven, but they want 60, 70 million for him. I mean, if you're asking me, would I rather spend 25 million on him and get an Eze or another couple of players, then yes, over Neto. Would I like Neto to come? Obviously, right? Who wouldn't? But if we've got limited budget, then I would take him. Because a fit Chiesa will, do a lot of damage. Whether he's as good as his dad, I'm not sure. But
that was incredible.
His dad was unbelievable player. Yeah. So I'm sort of 50-50. I'm 50-50, but we're desperate for things to happen. If he was a target, if we've been targeting him for a long time, begs the question: why has it taken so long? For us to do this deal, because there doesn't seem to be any hurdles into doing this deal. It's not like some of the others, he's away on Italy duty. They got knocked out quite early. He wasn't impressive, I don't think, in the Euros. No,
I felt the same.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. He's not. I won't be upset if he signs, but it's not what I would class as a game changer, a marquee signing. To some, he 100% would be. I'm not going to complain if it happens. That's for sure. Because we need another winger, Brian. We got more wingers than.
There is absolutely. And Daniel and Shawnee, I have started your comments because I will bring it in within the next subject because this is going to be about Chiesa. And I've looked it up in the dictionary, and there's something called incomings, which means things that come in to places. And I think we might be doing some soon. It's just a case of whether they're of first team walking quality or the squad depth. But Chiesa, I think before his injury was incredible. Let's put it this way: if it was Chiesa before his injury, you're more than double, even treble the price that he's going for now. Yeah, and what I know he's in the last year of his contract, from what I've been told. But for me, someone said this to me a while ago, and I was like, do they think there's problems? Not could be with Juve, like we heard she might be getting investigated again as long as side Juve. But is there a reason that they're willing to take this kind of price on him? Yes, he's got 12 months left. I'm not saying that there is anything I've heard or people are saying about his attitude or what he does at clubs. This is a deal I look at. If you can get it done and it works, and it's an absolute steal of a deal. An absolute steal of a deal. But I saw Jason Bell said apparently some of it, his personal demands, are going to be an issue. Yeah, that's for one of the best.
We can afford it though, Brian. We've got rid of like £1 million a week in wages over the last year. Yeah, if you add it all up, so we can afford it. I thought the delay was because he's had so many injuries. He lost a couple of his toes, and they're one of his old boots, and they were looking for it. I don't know what the delay is. If he was our number one target, which I don't believe he was,
no,
then. This deal should have been done long time ago. There's nothing to have stopped this deal taking place. He's probably playing the usual game where they're playing, one Premier League team off of against another, one offering. Daniel will be probably offering as little as possible. And then another team's going to come along and offer them, all the gold that he can eat. So we'll have to wait and see.
I have to say very quickly, if Romero goes to Real Madrid, you'll see me in London. That's all I'll say. You'll see me in London very shortly. Big up, Craig. I just seen you in here. Big up, my man. We could have got Sissoko back, but unfortunately, we did, mate. We did miss the boat on bringing Sissoko back. I know a lot of people, and Ben Kaufman is one. Craig, wait a minute. We've got a super chat. Let me just bring it up. And it's from Michael. Big up, Michael. I hope you're well. If we genuinely believe in the young prospects, go all out for Gyökeres, I would wish. And one more midfielder. All other positions are covered, in my opinion. Cheers, lads. Another pre-season and roller coaster ahead. Right, let's have a quick chat about this. I made no secret of it, but how much I love Gyökeres. I had someone say to me on my Klinsmann post, and all hell Jurgen Klinsmann, the greatest, or one of the greatest.
More than Alfie Divine?
Oh, mate, no. Alfie, listen, Alfie's, we'll get onto him later. But, people, I put on this Jurgen Klinsmann post, and someone who obviously hasn't supported Spurs for as long as I have because of his age, said, put a tweet saying, this would be like dropping a Gyökeres bomber, and Craig, I just said that word for you, and I hated every second of it, would be a Gyökeres style that word today. And I said, no, it would not. Jurgen Klinsmann at the time was like an Mbappe and a Haaland bomber. Oh, that word. But yeah, Gyökeres is my number one. I'm going to keep that super chat up there. There's a lot of youngsters, and I am so happy. I am so happy. Yeah, after Saturday, I heard a lot of people talking about Alfie Divine. A lot of people. Because obviously everyone's talking about Mikey Moore, Donnelly, Bergvall, Gray, and rightfully so, because they're the big ones we knew.
Fantastic news. So much talent. Yeah.
Alfie Divine, thankfully, has had his time to shine, and he's grown for it. I think where he says, let's have a look. So if we all go out for Gyökeres, one more midfielder, agreed. All other positions are cut. The only one I would say, two, a winger. And I think most importantly, and I don't think we've got it in the youngsters, maybe Donnelly, but I think Donnelly, Michael, will go out on loan, is back up for Destiny or cover for Destiny or whatever buzzword you want to use. What do you reckon, Jonny?
Well, listen, we got half of ABBA already. in Kulu and Bergvall. I mean, if we're saying Gyökeres, that's 3. We just got to find one more Swede.
One more.
We're off. I mean, listen, look, I whether or not the 2 would be a draw, I'm not sure for Gyökeres. But listen, we all know what the issue is. We all know what the issue is. Is he a one-season wonder, though? That is a risk. It is a risk. I'm not going to lie. I think that is something we've seen it time and time again. We saw Darwin Núñez, who was unbelievable in Portugal.
Yep.
Came back and, he couldn't hit a barn door. I mean, he missed more than any other striker in the league. So I think it's a lot to pay. If we could get him for 50 million, no problem. But, 70 million, I think we're going to have some big splurge. I think they're not going to compromise on quality. There is absolutely no point getting rid of all this deadwood to then go and buy more deadwood or potential deadwood. Yep. It's quality or bust. Personally, I would rather sign 1 more player or 2 more players if it meant they were top quality than go and buy a load of dross that could be sitting here in 4 or 5 years' time.
Well, the other thing I'm going to add, Johnny, to this, and you'll know a bit more than this than I do because I don't claim I haven't got the knowledge of the inside workings of the club. Yeah. Matthew raised a good point, which a lot of people have been talking about. His agent is apparently in London, but everyone from Tottenham's side is in Korea, and that's including Lange. Now, obviously, we're in a day and age now where medicals can be done at the club they're at because of modern technology and video calls and conferencing and blah, blah, blah. But how is this, the inner workings, if his representatives have gone to London, and obviously they're on a completely different time zone to what everyone is in Korea now, how does this, and this is just a genuine question, this isn't Tottenham have been stupid, everyone's that, how does this get through if the agents have come to the city where obviously Tottenham are London, but every single representative of the transfer kind of thing is over there? I mean, I don't know if Mackenzie's at home.
Look, the thing is, number one, we don't know whether he's coming to Spurs. Yeah. Could be going to look at Arsenal? Could he be going to look at Chelsea? Could we be going to look at West Ham? We don't know, right? Okay, but he's at one of them. He's going to look at. If he was going to Spurs, I'm sure there's many representatives that could show him round the training ground, right? And then you have a Zoom call, okay, where you all sit down and have the discussion, where Ange can ring him and say to him, we're interested. And it's not difficult in the 21st century for that to happen. So, show him around, give him the big, I'm sure he's understanding with the fact that, things are going on. But listen, let's be honest, right now, he should be in training, getting fit, right? He
should be, but this is a question I'm going to ask the chat, and there's 189 of you in here, so thank you for spending the time with us.
Button, guys.
Oh, is that you got a new dance to it as well now with your thumbs? That's all. Well, that's all good.
It's all part. Look, we need to help the channel grow, and the only way to help the channel grow is to trigger that algorithm, and the only way you can do that is to like the stream, which is the thumbprint, comment, good, bad, or indifferent, and if you're not already subscribed, just hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost any money. It's just to let you know when we're on. That's it. Exactly.
Now, the question I'm going to ask now, and I'll go to you obviously first, Johnny, and then just say any answers, yes or no, or words to that effect. But I'll do that after we've got this second super chat that's just come in. Where is it? From Rinketic. Would Gyökeres want to play for the same club as his ex-girlfriend? She plays for Spurs Women. I never knew that. Who knows, mate? If it was on Friends and they may be on a break, it could be the thing to rekindle it. Who knows, mate? Who knows? But Gyökeres, for me, is 100% the man for me. I just think he offers absolutely everything we need for Ange's system. What do you feel about that, Johnny?
Listen, I think, it all depends on how much he goes for, Brian. Let's be honest. knowing Spurs luck, we're going to spend 70 million. I don't want to end up spending 65, 70 million and end up with an Ndombele and a one-season wonder that fell off a cliff, okay? You know, I don't mind if we're paying, say, 40 million or 45 million plus bonuses. You know, we start winning stuff, then I don't care about paying the bonuses because it would have been worth the money and the transfer would have been a success. He's definitely got skills. He's definitely got something about him. I just think that the fee, having Brighton sold him for £1 million to Coventry, and then Coventry bought him, Sporting. Bought him for very little. I think 70 million is absolutely taking the rip. If we could do 50 million, why not? I'd rather buy him than Solanke.
Oh, without a doubt. But this is the thing. You're talking about the. I'm looking at it, and Rinketic's put it. It was Rinketic's comment that I'm going to bring up. 25 million for Chiesa could be a good deal.
Yeah,
could be. I think there's more to gain from getting a good deal of that than like a 70, 80 million pound player. Because if he turns out good, obviously.
Like Netta. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing that concerns me is we're talking about a player that you don't know if he does it in the English league. He's only done it in Portugal.
Correct.
Do you sign a Chiesa that's had injuries that can do it and has done it in his home country, but paying him this 100 grand a week more than Sonny? I'm sorry, I don't care if he's a bargain at 25 million. Yes, we have saved the money and we should be paying the wages, and our wages should be higher. But if we're going to give 300 grand a week to a player, I want it to be to a player who you can kind of pretty much know from their history is going to be available. Obviously, he can pick up an ACL and you never know it. And that's what I'm asking, yes or no, to the people that are in the chat, and it'll be to you first, Johnny. 25 million, but 300 grand a week, right here, right now, if you were the one that decided if this transfer went through, bearing in mind that wage demand, if it's true, the wage demand, are you paying it? For me, it's a no. Johnny?
For me, it's a no. And I'll tell you the other reason why it's a no. It's a no because everyone in their contract has triggers, right, that are normally related to the biggest or highest paid. So Sonny will have a trigger that he should always remain the highest paid player at the club. So if he's on 200,000 or 250,000 and he comes in at 300,000, his trigger would already be a trigger to increase his wages by X. They would have written that into the contract, and there'll be others that will be based on the highest paid player in the club, and what have you. So for me, no. If it was 25 million and 150 grand, I'll happily pay it.
I have to say, John, this is my number one of all time at the moment for this window. But the reason I've gone Gyökeres as number one is this just isn't happening. There is not a damn chance of it happening. In case if there was a chance, I'd put him immediately over a Gyökeres. Right, we've got this obviously from MS. We need a defensive midfielder. Let's talk now. We've done the Chiesa. I'm going to start bringing up the yes nos to the comments. But let me, and then we're going to start talking about the players coming in. Right, let's have a look. Let's go back. So we have got wait, my mouse is just frozen. Here we go. So we have got big up Colin Crossamano's in the building. Here we go. Pay the 60 million and get Eze. You won't get any complaints from me and Johnny on that one. Please don't get Solanke. Yep. It won't happen. Cheap option, David incoming. Listen, Jonathan David, I've said it and I'll say it again. I think at Tottenham Hotspur, he does well. I really, really do. And I'm not just saying that now because of my Canadian roots. I'm saying if he ends up in the Premier League by Christmas time, Spurs fans will be saying we missed the boat on Jonathan David. And people may disagree with me, and they're totally in their right to if they want to. But I think around the quality we have, but there's a lot of no's here, Johnny, like we were saying. For 300, I think 300 grand a week is the tipping point. I think exactly. Nico Williams, this is the thing. again, yeah. Well, this is the thing as well. The thing I'll add to it before we go into the players we think we need is, let's just say this deal collapsed because of wages, because he wanted 300 grand a week. Am I going to be more annoyed with Levy, or am I going to be more annoyed with Chiesa? I will be more annoyed with Chiesa, because there's no way you come in and demand that amount. If you had been like Nico Williams could now say, yeah, I just want, or Chiesa did it in the last Euros, I don't think he justifies coming in straight away and 100 grand more than Kane wishing, 100 grand more than Sonny. There are, don't get me wrong, the wages should be higher. We should be paying the wages. We should be, if deals collapse, like if Eze collapses over wages, let's just say Eze, I'm going to go nuts. I am going to go nuts, because whatever Eze is going to demand is not going to be 300 grand a week. The wages are there that we can pay these big wages, but I'm sorry, 300 grand a week is way too much over the top for me. But Jonny, incomings.
Yeah.
Where do you reckon we're going with this?
Look, I think we're very loaded in the middle of the park. We need depth. Is Archie Gray and Basuma and Bentancur, is that not enough competition as a 6? I think so. I mean, he can play right back, Archie. He can play centre back. He can play the 8. Bentancur can play in a few positions. So I would say we need another 10 because I believe Lo Celso will go. And he probably looked to get rid of Bentancur potentially as well, as much as it pains me to say that. We need a backup left back or left centre back. Incape would do for me. I'd like to get Geerstruda in, who can play right back, right centre back, and a 6. I just don't think we need more wingers. How many more wingers do you need? For God's sake. As I said before, we got more than Nando's in KFC combined. You just got wingers coming out of our backside. I mean, it's too much. We all know the top teams have at least 2 strikers. All right, Arsenal will be the exception because they've got Jesus and they've got Havertz, who plays as a false 9. But we need 2 strikers, and we've got Richie, who is injured far too often. Therefore, we need to get another striker. I would rather us cut out buying another winger and buy another striker, whoever it may be, someone decent, and Eze. A striker, Eze, and a left centre back would do for me as the urgent ones. So I wouldn't mind another backup goalkeeper. The tree needs to go.
Well, there's a question that I've seen that started we'll do at the end about Brandon Austin, so that will be discussed. But Inakoma has just sent in a super chat. Thank you very much indeed. I hope you're good and well. It's going to be Eze, Neto, and Jonathan David. If it was, Jonny, how are you feeling with those 3?
I'll be running around the garden right now.
Honestly, if that 3 came in, I think it would be, the front line looks completely different. Completely different. If I could change one thing there, I pray, hope, wish, and everything I can that it is Eze that comes in.
Yeah.
But if Eze or Neto, who I think is more likely out of the 2,
Neto's the most
then the other one, I would drop one. I would drop one of the others. So if Eze came, I'd drop Neto. If Neto comes, I'd drop Eze, unfortunately. And I think Ivan Toney goes on that list. And I think the 3 would be which I would be delighted with, will be Toney, Jonathan David, and Eze or Neto. That's certainly a completely reformed strike force. But I can't see Eze and Neto. Can you?
No, and I've got to tell you, Alistair Gold is having an absolute mare. Because everything he says, it's the opposite. So I don't listen to anything he says, right? He's been wrong just about quite a lot of stuff just recently. And, him completely dismissing Chiesa might have been a bit short. because, Spurs know that he broadcasts. What, do you think they're going to give him all the information? Their inside trading information? No, what we do, okay, guys, let's throw Alistair a couple of curveballs and the smoke screen and tell everyone this isn't happening and that isn't happening. What's Alistair going to do? Sue the club? No. So you get used. You get used by the club in these situations. And let's see what happens. But we have... What is it now? Is it 18 days to the start of the season? How many days is it?
Well, we kick off on August the 16th, or the Premier League kicks off on the 16th. We play on the 18th.
Yeah, we're on the Monday.
Or it kicks off on the 14th. We play on the 16th. I think it's that way. Yeah. It kicks off on the 14th. I think this weekend just gone was 3 weekends to the date.
I think it's 17 days to the
something
start.
like that. Yeah.
And we've signed. Well, Timo on the dance floor and Archie Gray. Archie Gray was my number one signing, full stop. So I'm delighted about that, but that isn't enough. It is not enough. Bergval's great. The kids are coming through are great, but we need some more meat on the bone. And the fans will not accept any more BS. Okay? Deliver, stand and deliver, or you're going to get it. If we...
Yes, sir. There's a couple of things just to bring up about Neto and wingers. You're going to respond after I brought the two things up and set. So, AJ, big up to you, my brother. So, Johnny, no, mate, that's the problem. Our wingers are consistently shit and predictable, which I tend to agree with. The wingers we've got, apart from Son, right now, they're so inconsistent. We've got the numbers there, but we haven't got the quality there. So I think that's where Johnny meant we've got too many wingers.
Yeah, we've got a wing factory.
We have.
Got a wing factory.
We need better technical, exactly. And then Martin goes on to say, how much you guys would you guys realistically be willing to pay for Neto? So what I know and what I've heard, and Johnny, you may be able to put hot or cold water on it. Wolves want 60 million. And Spurs like, hell no, we're not paying that. And I'm not just saying that, they're saying that because of Levy. They're doing this because of his injuries. But once again, they're trying to chuck a couple of players in them, Skip being one of them.
Yeah, Skip being one, but they're valuing Skip at £30 million. So there lies
from what I've just heard, and someone just sent me before we went live, apparently Smith Rowe's going somewhere for 34. And I would imagine it's Fulham. So if he's going for 34, not saying that makes Skippy any higher or any less, but these are the stupid figures we're doing today. So for the question is, from Martin Cutter, how much would I realistically pay? 35, 40, 45 max. Because I honestly think if we can keep Neto fit, and I know that's a really bold statement, especially with the way our treatment room normally is, I think he's an absolute game changer if we get the right forward in. Johnny, what are you willing to pay? And everyone else in the chat, what are you willing to pay to get Neto? If you had the bank, the checkbook, what are you guys willing to pay for Neto? Johnny?
I would pay 30 million plus Skip plus bonuses, right? Performance-related bonuses. Smith Rowe also done an amazing bit of businesses. This is the difference when you produce quality, right? Smith Rowe, I'm sorry, guys. Smith Rowe is a better player. He might not have played that much recently, but he's a far better player than Oliver Skip.
Oh, much better.
Overall, right?
Much better.
Without any doubt. I told everyone for quite a while now he's going to Fulham. I kept saying Palace wanted him, this one wanted him, but he was always going to go. But when you look at Smith Rowe and Neto, but we're giving cash plus player plus a performance basis. So I don't mind paying the 65 million if he meets all the targets and we get rid of Skippy. But we need homegrown, Brian. We need to have some homegrown.
We do. So there's people that aren't willing to spend on him at all. There's people that are going up to 15. I think he is. I will very quickly say before we move on to the next subject, when it comes to Smith Rowe, if people remember that North London derby during COVID, did it boner,
Yeah.
We were going to lose that game in 10 minutes. And Smith Rowe, as much as I hate to say it, was tearing us to pieces in that game. Yes, he's had his injuries and whatever. That game, he was tearing us to pieces. But let's move on to the next subject. And
he just played for Calafiori.
Let's get this out of the way because today's a great landmark. Well, listen, we've done a Jurgen Klinsmann video, which is available now. We pre-recorded it, me and the Roman, so it's available there. And I really want you guys to watch it and comment about your moments with Klinsmann, where you were when it happened, just how big a deal that was for Spurs when we had no European football to offer him, no chance of offering European football the season after, out of the FA Cup, and signing the peak. But that was one milestone that we've spoken about. We've reached another one. Spurs today have reached 6,000 days without a trophy. And when you look at this club's illustrious history and where we're used to winning at least a couple of decades, to now be in a period that's over a decade and a half now, let's not kid ourselves. Yes, football has improved. Yes, football, the money of blah, it is unacceptable. I look at it, and the bit I don't understand with sections of the fan base is the amount of players that have left this football club, and they have said the reason I want to win trophies, I want to win silverware, I want to compete at the highest of the highs. Our players have left because of that. We obviously can't leave. We will never leave. But I don't understand why these players are able to say this. And it's like, yeah, do you know what? Fair play. But when the fans say it, it's you're toxic, you're negative, you're this, you're that. Going 6,000 days without a trophy, to me, is beyond unacceptable. And I mean, Jonny, you're older than me, obviously, so you've seen a lot more finals.
How very dare you?
But no, I mean, listen, Colin Cross is in here. We've got Mark Cousins is older than me. There's some people.
I'm joking.
I know you are, mate. I know you are. But you have seen.
I'm Jerry in the Atrix talking about you.
You have seen people, and do you know what? Someone actually sent me a message and said, Bryan, do you know what? The last time we won a trophy, you were drinking. Coincidence? And I was like, I'm not going to go on a season drinking bender, because then if we win a trophy, then that's the end of me. I did laugh. It was said in humour, not to take the piss. But you look at it, I'm almost a whole person. It's literally a whole person that has been born that can almost drink, drive, and what since we've won a trophy. Players leave, and this is with other football clubs as well. Obviously, they don't reach that high number. Jonny, as I was getting back to, you've seen us. The first cup final in my lifetime was 1981 when I was 2 years old, and obviously I was too young to even know what Tottenham were. But this, you'd seen it, where Tottenham going to a final and winning them, let alone going to them, was part and parcel of being a supporter, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the game's about the glory.
Yep.
Right. That's what I brought up with, Bill Nicholson, push and rush. Look, I chose Spurs because they were the most exciting team to watch when I was a kid, and I mean a kid. And that's fallen by the wayside over the years as the years have gone by. They're all distant memories. Even when we were rubbish, we were still exciting. When we were up and down like a yo-yo, I feel like we've lost our identity as a club. But 16 years, Barack Obama was trying to become president. That's how long ago it was. Really. 2008,
Exactly. It's just...
Bearings was collapsing. We had the financial crash. There were so many things. I'm sure if you go back and look at, the things that were happening 16 years ago, since the last one. I think you'll be quite shocked at the events that have gone on, and still we're sat here waiting year after year. I mean, listen, we all say it. This year's going to be different. This transfer window is going to be different.
Yeah.
I fancy us for a trophy this year. How many times have you turned around to your friends and said, I fancy us for the Carling Cup or the Carabao this year, or I fancy our chances in this, that, and the other? And all we got to show for it is the Audi Cup. I'm very proud of the Audi Cup, obviously, because
don't forget the tray. Like someone just said, we won a tray on Saturday, so
we did.
That's
the
all good.
Trophy.
You two, like I said, when you say about how many times you say we won a trophy, I was convinced that after the passing of Sir Terry Venables, or not Sir, but Terry Venables,
should have been Sir.
It will be in Spurs's kind of. Like the romance of the World Cup, the FA Cup, would have been on our side, and obviously we went out to Manchester City. I've started saying to people today, and this is when Chiesa was kind of, no, it's not on. I was like, why should and I'm going to start using this as and when I need to, and I was like, why should the Spurs fans dare to dream when the owners won't dare to do? And I'm going to start using it because I love that little play on words. And it's true in some ways now. Why do we dare to dream when they will not dare to do? But we've had a super chat, and then we're going to go on to the final subject before questions. Should we start Mikey Moore versus Leicester instead of Johnson? For me, I'm a no. And not just because of Johnson, whoever it is. Mikey Moore, I've said, and Jonny has seen many a time, we have a thing of beauty on our hands. We have an absolute incredible talent on our hands. But do you know what? I love what he's doing coming off the bench and making an impact. I don't want him to start right now. Right now. I think this guy comes off the bench and will start making immediate impacts. Dele Alli at Leicester, funnily enough, scored his first goal, and then no one could force him out of the team. This guy is still developing. He's still, but one thing I will say, Faz brother, is he will be on the bench. For me, he has to be in around the squad the whole time now. He is a first teamer. I just don't think now is the time for him to start right away. What about you, Jonny?
Listen, for me, I've said it ever since I first saw him play, over a couple of years ago now, generational. I don't say that lightly. He's an unbelievable player. His balance, his ball control, the way he plays upright, he's gliding in between tackles, he's reading the game. He has got it all. But I wouldn't start him. I think Brenda needs to start. And he can, like you say, can come on. He has had a few injuries, Mikey, and I think we need to protect him because he's still growing. Remember, he's 17 on the 11th of August, which is when, please God, all being well, he will be signing, or they will announce the signing of his 5-year contract.
Yeah.
Everyone's after him, but he needs to be brought along slowly. I was at the Bournemouth game at Wimbledon, the under-18s in the Cup, and he went off there injured. He's had a couple of other injuries. He's still developing, growth spurts. Monitor him closely and carefully, and let's bring him on 15, 20 minutes here and there. You know, players tiring, let him unlock them with his skill. I think he's going to be a significant factor in our team this season. I must admit, last year, when people were asking me, I said, no, you're going to have to wait another year. I thought this would have to wait this time next year before we would see him smashing the first team. Probably still will be, but I think he's going to get a lot more minutes quicker.
We'll go back to that question, Max, because we've got quite a few questions, Jonny. So we're going to touch on this, then we'll try and fly through the questions, but give them respect and time they need. Sean Slater put it, and I always save this for last, because this man, after 2 decades, David Pleat has announced, or the club have announced, David Pleat is stepping back from his scouting duties now. David Pleat was the manager of the 86-87 season, where we saw the Richard Goff, Gary Mabbott partnership that people still wax lyrical about to this day. You had the Hoddle and Waddle. You had the Clive Allen 47 or 49 goal season.
49.
People were saying we should have won the treble that year, but it failed to happen. Since then, David Pleat, he's been a caretaker manager. He's done scouting. He's the one that obviously pushed Dele Alli through. This man has been an incredible servant to this football club. An incredible servant, and given everything. When Spurs have fired managers under Sugar and under Levy, he's been there. When it comes to identify, this man deserves a hell of a lot of respect for all that he's done for Tottenham. And do you know what? It's another footballing man that's left Tottenham. We so badly need to bring some footballing men in.
I think he'll still be there. I think he'll still be there doing his bit. And as Ferg said, they should give him a brass plaque. Ferg quite rightly said, and it's sad that his curb crawling days could be at an end. And he is a fantastic scout. He can
unbelievable, a British
scout. And let me tell you, the amount of players he's spotted and scouted that Spurs haven't bought is quite extensive.
Yeah.
I don't know why they don't, because they're now data driven. Maybe they don't want to listen, but sometimes the eye tells more than data, and his eye is incredible. That was a great team, that David Pleat team. Finished third. Well, I thought we were in everything right to the death.
Yeah, he was absolutely sensational. Listen, whatever happens, whether... I like I said, I never got to see the 86-87 season. Was just before I started watching Tottenham, but I've seen passages of play. I've seen highlights of games. I've seen moments. I watched the FA Cup final. We lost to Coventry. And whatever this man has done has always been with Tottenham in his heart. And everything he's done has been for the love of the football club. And whatever you do for the rest of your life, mate, whether you're stepping back from Tottenham, just scouting, whatever, nothing but all the best to you. You have given everything to Tottenham, and no one can take that away from you. Right, let's do the questions. We're going to try and get these done. First of all, from Darren, mate, how's the flat, or we'll change the word flat, house after the fire?
It is okay. It's very, very smelly. It was burning plastic, so you can imagine it was quite a toxic smell, and it was awful. I've had the windows open all day. It's still there, but please God, it's on its way out. And thank you to the firemen. I've got to tell you, called the firemen, and they were here in 5 minutes, literally. Fantastic.
Well done to them.
The fact that they drove into the post as they went out, forget it. But they were fantastic.
Next question from Matty. If you could have one stay and one go on loan to Luton, who would you want to stay and go? Divine or Donnelly? Sean's in the building. Go on.
Listen,
Divine has to stay.
Divine to go to Luton, and sorry, one to stay and one to go. Sorry, I thought you went. I would have brought in Ross Barkley. Yeah, I think Donnelly to stay, Divine to go to Luton.
Yeah, now I've said before pre-season that Divine needs a loan. Where
they both do, actually.
I was like, he needs a loan where he's going to play regularly. Like, he'll go to a team and it's like, you are our starting. And obviously, if form drops out. And this was before pre-season. Now, he came back from pre-season. Whenever I put things about Divine, loads of Plymouth fans were coming in going, he's shit, he's crap, he's done nothing. I was like, listen, it's a loan spell. You've let the manager that signed him has gone. And people will know I've always been bigging up Alfie. And this pre-season, he has absolutely shown why I have all the faith in him. But out of these two, I honestly think Donnelly is being... I said I think we need backup for Destiny or cover for Destiny. And I think that's why Donnelly's been playing on that side. So I think, as much as I would love to see Divine stay, as much as I want to see him wearing that shirt and dominating games like he has done, I personally think a loan will be best for him. But if he stays, I'll be delighted. So, Sean, especially for you, mate, Donnelly stays, divides Luton. And I actually think
Donnelly's best position is actually a 10, I believe.
Yeah.
He played everywhere.
But the thing is, I will say as well, I think if Divine and Luton is what I think under the Luton manager, he'll flourish even more. Next one from a user. How do we feel with August the 16th approaching our current signings? It fills me with fear. Fear will be the word for me.
Quality, undoubted quality. 2 fantastic signings, not including Timo on the dance floor. Bergvall and Archie Gray, unbelievable signings. I mean, I'm not going to make any bones about it. Unbelievable. I'm not, not playing this down. I'm pumping it up because that's what I believe. We need more. Okay,
next question. Rinketic. Could we see he'll leave on a free in about 2-3 years or put him in a trade thing? I think the contract's only apparently, from what I've heard, 1 year with the possibility of extending it for 12. For not 12 years, 12 months.
That's a slave, Brian.
Yeah, but I think he either gets his move in the summer, like next summer, or we do what we did with Tanganga and Sessegnon. Jonny?
Move him on. Let's loan him out. Hope he has a great time at Girona. Does very well, and we get like 15-20 million back for him, or we get a player from Girona who happens to shine.
There we go. Next one. From who's on transfers, I still believe we will be in for Tony and Eze, but out here in South America, I've been told by a reasonably reliable source that Spurs plan to inquire about Kimmich while in career. Now, I brought that up when we're talking about transfers in general. Now, I see the logic behind that. Obviously, Spurs are playing Bayern; they're both in the same place. We need a defensive midfielder. So let's just say, if Kimmich could be got at Tottenham, are you taking him?
Yes.
There we go. So I am the same there.
In fact, I can order an Uber if it's for sure, if it's for real.
Sean has said this isn't a question, but apparently we're still keen on Jacob Ramsey. All I will say with Jacob Ramsey is I want to see this rumour go away till the last day of the window or last couple of days when Spurs use that we're looking for opportunities. Nige, any chance Spurs can? Are you doing sit-ups there, Jonny? You're going back.
No, I was just stretching it out.
Nige, any chance Spurs can sign some specialist players? Number 6, number 9, not versatile all the time. I honestly think, Jonny, in certain positions we need to, and in specialist, I still think we need another set piece taker because James Maddison's corners weren't all that. He weren't taking free kicks. Hell, even Sonny wasn't taking free kicks. So I would like us to sign a couple of players that are, this is what I do and this is my position. What about you, Jonny?
James Maddison's not shining at the moment. Creativity. If Maddison doesn't step up, I can see Bergvall actually starting to move straight into his position. He'll beat his man in one and he'll put the ball through to try and break those lines. Maddison has to stop dropping deep because he can't play deep, in my opinion. I'd buy another creative midfielder. I think Bergvall is really an 8. But yeah, I'd take another creative midfielder. Not for me, Ramsey. Not for me.
Yeah, same here. So this one, obviously, there was someone in the comments saying he's not going to Madrid. He's not going to Madrid this season at all. Gary's put his question in because there were links, there were rumours. And I think if Spurs don't have a big season this season, this talk becomes very, 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 very active and a possibility. Forget that part. But if he was to go, and we're not saying he is, so don't people start clipping it. He's not going anywhere. Would you like to see Jared Braithwaite at Tottenham Hotspur, Jonny?
I don't think we need him. So no, I'd rather spend the money elsewhere. We don't need him. We got Dragusin.
I'm saying if Romero left, so we would need a defender. So if Romero had gone,
no, I'd rather spend the money each way. We got Duskovic. Can't even.
Dragusin and
Vuskovic, Dragusin. We got Dorrington. We got Phillips. No, let's spend the money elsewhere.
Do you know what? I love him, but from what I remember, he plays on the left, not the right.
You
so,
know, but we'd have enough. We've got enough. We've got enough.
Yeah, but they're not. I wouldn't say proven quality. He's only had one season. But all I will say, Gary, is Braithwaite is a player. I think is a top player, or will be.
He was identified by our data boys at the beginning of the season, but we went for Mickey van der Ven. No one's going to complain about that.
Mate, Mickey van der Ven's my favourite player.
Yeah, so there you go.
The one, his agent was apparently in London, but we discussed this. Yeah. And also, someone mentioned as well, which was a good point. I don't know where Scott Munn is. I don't know if Scott Munn even exists because he appears, but obviously he does exist. Maybe he's there and can wrap it up. But Lee Harvey, big up. Do you guys think the youngsters? Do you guys think these youngsters, and I do mean more than one or two, as everyone keeps saying, could be a big part next season? Jonny?
100%. Listen, I said class of 92 2 years ago, said this is the greatest crop of youngsters I've ever seen in my lifetime at Spurs. I got ridiculed. Don't give a damn, right? That's what I feel. That's what I think. And nothing I've seen has made me change it. I still think there's another year before we start to really see it all come to fruition. But this is just the start. Get ready to enjoy it, because I think there's some great stuff coming from our kids. Yeah. Whether Ange will be the manager or not, who knows?
I think there will be more than one or two, Lee. But I'm not expecting them to be big part, yes. But the way I say big part is this season is all going to be about game management and squad rotation, because there's 4 tournaments we're in, and he's got to work out a strategy and a structure to keep all these players fresh and as limited injury-free as possible. So I think more than 1 and 2, but I think we're going to benefit a lot more from a lot of these going on loan. Next one isn't a question, but it's about Alfie Devine, so I'm bringing it up. Devine has been crazy solid. He has shocked me since coming back from loan. Kudos to Ange for involving Devine. Do you know what? As much as kudos for involving him, from what I was told, Spurs were disappointed with both Devine and Plymouth for Alfie for not performing so well, but Plymouth for not giving him the opportunity and regular game time that was promised with the manager that brought him. I think more kudos goes to Alfie for doing what he's done in pre-season than kudos to Ange for playing him, because Devine's come in, he's played 6, 8, 10, dropped off. He's had an impact every time he's come on. So I know what you're saying, but I think Alfie deserves a lot more praise that he's getting. Ben, when he was doing the player rating on Tottenham TV, they said I'd actually call him an unsung hero of the tour, and I would definitely agree with that, but that's because I'm incredibly biased. Paul Russell, big up, brother. You would never know that I was biased when it comes to Alfie, would you?
Never heard you mention it, to be honest.
Jonny, I'll let you go. Why on earth haven't we put in a bid for Eze? He has a release clause, so let's get on with it. Otherwise, other clubs will do. Pathetic. Go on, Jonny.
2 words, Daniel Levy.
Yep. So I'll go a little bit into that. Apparently, we want him. He wants us. The deal, and the bit that makes me laugh about this is apparently Crystal Palace want a lump sum up front. Daniel Levy doesn't want to pay it. He's trying to get it broken down into as many segments, whatever. But on the other hand, Saudi want Richie, but Levy wants a lump sum up front. So he demands a lump sum from the clubs that are buying, but when the shoe's on the other foot, he refuses to do it. And people wonder why he's such a hard bastard to deal with. But yes, so that's what I agree with you, Paul. It was Tweaky that said about Munn doing the deal. That wasn't a question. Audio, brother. Do you think Austin is ahead of Forster for minutes this season? Jonny?
Honestly, I just want to see the tree go. Lovely guy, right? But I don't want to see my keepers going down like that for a penalty, a falling tree. Brandon Austin made a very good save when I was at QPR. Superb save. For me, Gunter is going to be a proper keeper. We got 2 fantastic young keepers. Josh Keeley is also a really good keeper. I'd bring in Gunter. He might be too young, maybe, but I'd bring in Gunter as the number 2.
I think, do you know what, I think, and I've said it as well, I don't think enough is being made of Brandon Austin's save against Hearts it was that damn good. But I can't work out for the life of me, Audio, right now, if going away and getting first team football regular is going to be more beneficial to him than staying at the club and playing bit parts. So I'm torn, but he's definitely got a future number 2 because we've only given him 5 years. International Observer.
You'll have to wrap it up, Brian, after this one.
Okay, after this one, there's a few more. I'll do it by myself, but I'm not going to cut the questions that I've already started. So then, if the club know that Sonny and others are on connected deals, won't they have factored that when they're willing, if they're willing to pay a Chiesa? I care very little what any player costs or wage.
But why should you? Because it's not your money. It's not my money. But I'm just saying these are things that are going to consideration. Players often have triggers in their contracts. If they're a big star player, that so they bring someone in that they remain the highest paid or they're in close proximity to that wage. So I think that would be something. I mean, can you imagine Chiesa coming in getting more money than Son? I can't see that ever happening, considering how much money Son brings into this club. Yep. I wouldn't be surprised if Sonny's on some sort of image right deal anyway, which boosts his money. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Lots of clubs. We've
got 5 questions left, and we can all answer. We're just from Mr. Spain, which I didn't know. Mr. Spain, Mr. Sweden, and he will know everything about this guy. You do know that Gyökeres has operated on one of his knees only 2 months ago. Now, I know he's been playing with a little bit of a knock, but once that's sorted, I hope he's back and fit and firing. I just love him. Did you know about Gyökeres'?
I didn't, but Tony being Swedish Tony, he's got the inside knowledge. You know, what does it matter to Spurs if a player's only got one knee?
Yep.
You know, if we can get him cheap, if we can get him cheaper, if they knock him off for one missing knee and pick him up for 30 million without a knee, be great. Keep the clans quiet until they work out that he can't run.
Next question. Richie and Saudi interest has got a bit quiet. You think Richie getting cold feet after U-turn? I don't listen. We'll do these briefly, like I said, because you've got to go. I think this still happens. I do. I do not understand why Spurs have taken him out on tour when he's not fit. I do not get it one bit. And I think there's genuine interest. And one of the reasons he may have gone is to try and say, Saudi, we're going to start playing him. It's up to you to get him. Jonny?
Listen, they're the only place that can afford him. But I'll say this again. If Richie goes, you can't be buying one striker. Top clubs have 2 strikers. And I cannot see another season where we buy one striker and have backup as Son, as a number 9. No, not for me. So if he goes, fine, but let's bring in 2. And if Richie stays, we need to bring in another.
Yep, you're right. So then we've got a new name. Anten, thank you very much indeed, Matt. I don't think I've seen your name before. Welcome to the channel. Where is our interceptors? Basuma, Eze, Madison Gray, Bergvall, Bentacar, all progressive. They are shit off the ball. Oops, and can't crack it last season. Yeah, but he's saying like the midfield destroyers, like a Wanyama, I still think we need one. I do still think we need one. I think Archie Gray starts there.
I think you haven't watched Archie Gray properly, right? I'm sorry. People think of him as a kid. He's 18 years old. The kid's 6'2".
Yeah.
He's got football DNA, and the DNA in his blood, Eddie Gray, Frank Gray, animals, mate, right? Don't worry about, bite in the tackle. He might be a nice kid, but when it comes to it, and Basuma's got a bit of an edge to him as well. Look, let's wait and see. The
next question, Jonny.
Yeah.
The next question is perfectly what we were just talking about. And I'm sure Maximum is trying to say Archie, ready to be number 6. For me, I said it on We Are Tottenham TV, and I've said it since we signed him. For me, he is the first midfielder I put on the team sheet. I think I've been listening to Lee fans. I've been saying how happy I am. He has been, his anticipation, his reading of the game, his tackling. Yes, he gave the ball away when he skipped up to midfield. It's pre-season. I think this boy is more than ready. Do I think we still need a bigger enforcer? Maybe to rotate with him? Yes, so he can push push up maybe to the 8. But for me, Archie Gray, 100%. If the midfield is what it is right now, I start Archie at number 6. What about you, Johnny?
Start him as 6, or at least competing as a 6. You got to find him in the team. He says his best position is an 8. I've got to tell you, Maddison needs to be up in his game. The good thing is that Archie Gray and Bergvall coming into the team is going to force the complacent midfield to up their game or sit on the bench.
Couldn't agree more. And I see there's more questions coming in, but we've got to wrap it up. If you put the questions in that we haven't answered in the YouTube comment section after, I will personally answer them within 24 hours. So please do put them in. And I'll tell you why. The reason this happens is I go to starred sections and I can't see the questions coming in because I'm bringing up all the starred ones. So any questions that haven't been answered, whack them in the YouTube comments. I will. This isn't even a question, Johnny, but I think it's something that needs to be said from Lee Harvey. Anyone that calls fans around the world plastics, sofa, couch, whatever. Listen, there are fans that follow like Jose Mourinho every goes. There are fans undoubtedly that follow Sonny when Sonny goes, whether they stay as Spurs fans or not. Now we've got the other Korean up for debate. But if you look at the fans that have been there and packed those stadiums, people that say they're armchair fans or whatever, the away support, and I'm not even talking about the Tottenham fans like yourself, Johnny, the support we have in countries is phenomenal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fantastic. Long may it continue. But I'd like to see us go out to America next year because we've massively grown out there due to the NFL being staged out there. It's picked up a lot of fans from North America due to playing Madden NFL, where they use the ground and it's the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So whilst we haven't had naming rights, having it as the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium has been a bonus, not something to count against us.
Yeah, and I will also say with that, I hope they come to North America because then I can go to the airport like Ben and Simeon, and then when Daniel Levy comes out, I can say something to him. Who knows? Yeah, I'm sure it won't be very nice. But Johnny, always a pleasure, buddy. Where can people find you?
Yeah, Twitter, follow me here, or X, Johnny H3232. And if you go to my profile, there's a link to my Instagram, Let's Talk Tottenham 1882. And that's also the name of my new account, Let's Talk Tottenham 1882 on TikTok, which is going a bit mad at the moment. It's shooting up. So thank you for all the support. Brian, thank you for having me on.
Always.
Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe before you leave. Brian, thank you very much. So sorry I'm rushing, mate. I need to get going. But
that's all right, buddy. That's all right. And guys, all I will say is thank you for your support once again. Thank you for being involved in the comments. We will be back tomorrow with Morning Brews. There is a special Jurgen Klinsmann pre-record out on the channel now. Leave your comments on there. Leave your comments on this. I will be back tomorrow with Evening Brews. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, Levy out.
Come on, you Spurs.